Hello, this is going to be the notes for Unit 2, Section 2C, how to find a missing angle by using trig ratios. So, here's our first thing. So, you'll find that they're very close and similar to setting up the way we did for finding a side in the last section. But I want to go through two parts first, kind of how we figure out what the angles are going to be, both with the chart and with the calculator. And then we'll stop and we'll go to a second one, which will actually show us how we set that up. So finding a missing angle is actually the inverse of finding a side. So inverse kind of means the opposite. So basically on this one, rather than trying to find the ratio, we're actually trying to find the angle that goes with it. So if I look at my trig chart and I look at cosine, under cosine, what angle is close to 0.56? So under cosine, I want to look to see the closest one to 0.56. Well, it's going to be in this row. Okay, so you're probably not going to get an exact one, but we just find the closest one we can. We round off to the nearest degree. So you can see it's somewhere between here. So I'm going to say it's let's see, 0.56, yeah. Then that's going to be about 56 degrees. That's unusual. That doesn't always happen. Okay. Second one, the sine of B, the sine of some angle is 0.23. So the sine of some angle, go down here to 0.23, and you can see again it's between two of them. So just pick the closest one. As long as you're within 1 degree, as long as you're within 1 degree, you're fine. So that one's going to be about 13 degrees. Okay, tangent of some angle. This is a Greek symbol called theta. It's used often in place of an angle. So I look under tan column for 8.14. Here's my tan column. Look under there to 8.14. You can see here's 8.14, and that comes across here to angle 83 degrees. Okay, so that's 83 degrees. So that's if I know the decimal forms. What if I know the fraction or the ratio forms? Well, that's pretty simple to change the 3/4 into a decimal. So another way of writing this would be the cosine of x equals 0.75. Then we can just do it. So on my trig chart, I'm going to look under cosine to 0.75. Okay, here's cosine. I'm going to go down here to 0.75, as close as we can get, and we're going to say it's 41 degrees. So this angle x is going to equal 41 degrees. All right, here I've got this circled. We had a typo. This 12 should just be a 2. So it should be the sine of some angle y is 2/5. Try that. So I think you can see 2/5. To change that to a decimal, I take 2 divided by 5. So another way of looking at this would be for 0.4. You look that up on your chart under sine. Got to just make sure you get it at the right column. And sine of 0.4 would be about, so y would be about 24 degrees. The tan of z, 7/9. The decimal form of that is 0.7777. So z would be about 38 degrees when you look that up on the chart. Okay, next, the calculator is much easier. The inverse is the button on the calculator that says sine to -1, or cosine to -1, or tan to -1. So if we look on our calculator, here's sine, and the one right above it says sine -1. See if we can zero in on that just a little bit more. Okay, here's cosine. The cosine of -1 is right above that. So I'm going to need to use this second button up here. And same thing with tangent. So whichever one I need to use, that's the button I'm going to press. So again, we're going to find a missing angle. So if the angle is theta, we don't know it, we got to find it, and that decimal portion is 0.8889, I can look it up on the chart like we did before, or I can use my calculator, by using the inverse. So on the calculator, let's push this in here. So I need the second button, because I'm going to need inverse tan. So it's second tan. See how that comes out with a -1 up there? And then I'm going to put in my decimal, 0.8889, and then I push equals. And you can see you get this big old long thing. That's an angle in degrees. You get this big old long thing here, but we want to round to the nearest degree. See this big star over here? So 41.63 would round off to 42 degrees. Done. Okay, so let's find our missing angle using our calculator. So here you can see I'm just going to find cosine of some angle equals 0.56. So in my calculator I need to push second and then cosine, and then you should see something that looks like this. Okay, cosine to the -1. And then I put in my decimal, so 0.56. Push equals. And you get 55.94. Okay, if we want to round to the nearest degree, we would say 56 degrees. Okay, if you look up on top, that's the same answer we got you looking up on the chart. Okay, I got this one marked again because it's not supposed to be 12, it's 2. So anytime I want to find an angle, like in this case angle B, I have to push the second, because I need that inverse one. Second, sine, and I'm just going to let the calculator do my division for me. So I'm going to push in 2 divide 5 equals, you don't have to put those quotes, they should be there already. So second sine 2 divide 5 equals. Again, you're going to get this big long thing. We want to round to the nearest degree, so 23.5 makes it go up to 24 degrees. Last one, we're going to push second. We push second anytime we want to find an angle. Then I'm going to push tan, and then I'm going to punch in 7 divided by 9. And when I do that, I should get this big long decimal, or big long 7 divided 9. And if I round that off to the nearest degree, I get 38 degrees. Okay, so that's the process that you use to find a missing angle on using the calculator. Come back for part 2 and we'll go through some examples.